Cigars are like falling in love. You're attracted by the shape, you stay for the flavor, and you never, ever let the flame go out. Today, I'm going to be talking about cigars. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, cigar is a cylindrical roll of tobacco for smoking consisting of cut tobacco filler and a binder leaf with a wrapper leaf rolled spirally around the bunch. Cigars are one of my favorite vices. They are a unique and rich experience, and they are used to relax and celebrate around the world. I have three main topics today. I'll be talking about the history of cigars, the making of cigars, and Cigar City. So to start off with, the Cigar Aficionado website, the managing editor writes in 2017 that cigars often go through about 200 hands each just to produce one cigar. So the whole process starts off with the tobacco. The seed of the tobacco starts off in a seed tray in a greenhouse. Once it grows a few inches, then it is moved to a field where it reaches maturity and its full height. Afterwards, it's moved to a barn to brown and cure. This is what we see right here. It's curing and browning in a barn. After then, it is moved to a facility where it's fermented and it's unpacked and aired out. Then it is aged for a few years. Afterwards, it's rehydrated in a mist room, and then the outer wrapper, which is a tobacco leaf, has a stem which they remove just to create a smooth texture. That's why you see cigars have such a smooth exterior. This is a very long, arduous process and which contributes to the price of a lot of cigars. So you need to appreciate the time and energy that's put in cigars because it takes many years just to produce cigars. So according to Cigar International, a cigar retailer, the cigar is made out of 4 parts. So it's going to be the cap, the head, the body, and the foot. So the foot is the part that you light, and this is the part that you cut off to smoke through. So inside are 3 parts: the filler, the binder, and the wrapper. The filler is the inner part, and it's secured by the binder, and the binder is beneath the wrapper. The filler and the binder are put in a mold, and they're put in a mold for an hour. So there's a wooden mold right there. The wrapper is then placed after it's put in the mold. The wrapper is usually a more visually appealing, supple leaf because that's the one that you actually see. The wrapper is most important because of its flavor. That's the one that contributes the most to a flavor as opposed to the binder or the filler. Then after that, the cap, a very small part of the tobacco leaf, is placed on the top. Afterwards, the cigar is aged 21 days, sometimes many, many months. So moving on to the history, according to J.R. Cigar Blending Room, a cigar manufacturer, in May 2019, in an article called A Brief History of Cigars, it illuminates the antiquity of cigars. Basically, it started when Columbus traveled to the Caribbean in Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and Cuba, and he saw the natives smoking tobacco. And after he and his travelers experienced it for themselves, they ended up shipping a lot of it back to Europe. So the word cigar is actually derived from the Mayan word cigar, S-I-K-A-R, which means smoking tobacco. The tobacco soon became the #1 export in North America, and Spanish colonists soon made a factory in Cuba. While pipes were popular at the time, cigars soon surpassed them. After a while, Cuba ended up having some disagreements and disputes with the cigar industry, and a lot of the makers ended up moving to Florida, which kind of started a whole trend in making cigars in Florida. So premium cigars started being made in the late 18th and early 19th century, and it's because they used aged tobacco and they started hand rolling the cigars. So Cuba was a top seller of cigars until the embargo in 1960. And lastly, we're going to talk about Cigar City. So one reason cigars are close to my heart is because I'm from Tampa, and that is the Cigar City. Specifically, Ybor is a very huge hub for the cigars. According to the National Park Service, the city was named after cigar maker Vicente Martinez Ybor City. And See that right here? So this is like Tampa, and see Ybor is over here. So Martinez Ybor liked Ybor because of the warm climate, and the leaves did really well because of the humidity and the warmth. He also liked it because of the proximity to Cuba for the leaves and the labor. So Ybor is also called Cigar City. And the main drag, if you're in Ybor, you go down the main street, then you'll see many cigar shops either selling or making cigars. And according to visitTampaBay.com, in an article titled Tampa Bay Cigar History, How It All Started, it started in 1886 with Sanchez Ihaya. He started the first cigar factory in Ybor, and it was on 7th Avenue. He was the first one to make hand-rolled cigars there. It soon became a main Tampa industry, so here's his little factory. Within 30 years, more than 200 factories opened up and employed, thousands of people, which made Tampa grow and become what it is today. By 1900, Tampa was a top producer of fine cigars and surpassed Havana itself. At the climax, upwards of 500 million cigars were produced every year. And whether you were in a casino in Las Vegas or you're in a palace in the UK, you could easily see somebody with a Tampa Bay cigar in their hands. So in conclusion, cigars have amazing culture and history, and they can be appreciated for the time and energy that is put into them. So in conclusion, cigars have a distinct history. They have a very simple anatomy, and they come from the greatest place in the world, Florida. Thank you. Oh, here are my notes.